everyone, it's Sevi. In my previous comprehensive HEIZOU guide, I reviewed his kit, gameplay, and builds only at C0 since I wanted to experience how good he is without constellations. Thankfully, I was left with a good impression and said that he already feels cohesive at C0. So to continue it, in this quick video, I'm going to activate his constellations and share what I think of their value. Let's see how much better our detective boy can get. Starting off is C1. It says that when you switch him in, he gets a 15% normal attack speed increase and 1 declension stack right away, and this can trigger every 10 seconds. I did a timer and frame count of his normal attacks before and after the test. Completing his entire 5-hit sequence, it was about 12 frames or 0.2 seconds shorter. However, this only lasts for 5 seconds, and in some cases, doing an N1C combo twice can be better than trying to do N4 or N5 combos. A bit of those 5 seconds will also very likely be eaten up by using his skill, so I don't see this aspect being that significant of an increase. The free declension stack is the more appealing part of this constellation, as it makes him require less swirls at the start of his combo to get his skill up. I have this example before and after comparisons showing the speed difference of doing a max stack skill starting from 0 stacks switching in. Overall, it won't dramatically change his combos, and it's easy to get by without these upgrades. I'd say it's a minor quality of life constellation. Now, with C2, this was my most anticipated constellation from my C0 review, as it supposedly increases his Windmuster kick's pulling power and duration. This should help address one nitpick I had with his kit, which was the underwhelming crowd control utility. It would be difficult to comprehensively check and show how this affects all enemy types, so let me just show these two simple before and after tests. Here's the first test. In the pre-C2 clip, his burst only threw up the Sisson Mage on the side, but this next C2 clip shows that she actually gets pulled together with the Treasure Hoarder. On the second test, I tried it on these heavier Fatui enemies. The pre-C2 clip just shows them brushing it off, but in this C2 clip, HEIZOU was able to bring them closer to one another. Basically, thanks to the stronger suction and 1 second longer time of pulling enemies, it does help with his crowd control. It's not exactly game-changing, and honestly, the bar was quite low to begin with, definitely not going to make him go to the level of Kazuha or Venti. I found these details thanks to the HEIZOU mains Discord, which listed down how C0 and C2 affect different types of enemies. Shout out to them for compiling these tests. For some wishful thinking, it would have been nice if this was something built into his kit at C0, and then it could have been replaced by something like getting an added skill charge. In summary, C2, while it shouldn't have existed in the first place, is an improvement, if only to make him a better Animo crowd controller as you'd normally associate with the element. C4 gives his burst an energy refunding mechanic. Note that this is only triggered by the Windmuster Iris, which happens when his burst comes into contact with an enemy that has an elemental aura on them, so make sure to have elements applied before using his burst, otherwise he'll get no energy back. Here's an example of proccing it on 3 enemies, and another with max procs. HEIZOU never really had ER problems to begin with, and in my guide, I recommended around 120 to 130% ER for general reliability. With this constellation, he'll be able to get away with much less, letting you trade ER substats for offensive stats. C6 gives him a crit stacking mechanic on his skill. Each declension stack gives 4% crit rate, and getting max stacks will give him a bonus of 32% crit damage, a 1:2 crit ratio boost. If you're using HEIZOU as an ADC build, this will be an appealing constellation, so you can see even bigger nuke damage on his skill. On an EM build, this will have less impact. Finally, I saved these two for last since they're just talent level and damage increase. These constellations also matter more with an attack crit build since they increase his Animo damage. C3 simply increases his skill talent by 3 levels, increasing the base multiplier, declension stack bonus, and conviction damage bonus. Since his skill is a huge source of his Animo damage, this is of course quite helpful with increasing his DPS. C5 increases his burst's base damage and Windmuster Iris, translating as well to a DPS increase, though the skill talent increase will be more significant. Overall, I'm somewhat surprised at how unnecessary HEIZOU's constellations feel. So his C2 is an improvement, it's not exactly game-changing. His constellations are mainly quality of life and a DPS increase, which is always appreciated. However, they also don't give him new utilities or increase his team synergies. This can definitely be viewed positively, meaning that there isn't much incentive to deliberately pull for HEIZOU's constellations right now, and you can just wait to incidentally get his constellations on future banners. So don't feel too bad if you weren't able to get more copies of him. What do you think about his constellations? Be sure to let me know in the comments. But that's going to be all for this quick constellation review. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, consider subscribing to my channel for more Genshin Impact guides and content, and I will see you all soon. Take care!